Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to Logical Republican. My apologies for being away for a little while. Job duties and other things kind of taking priority over my fun here. But again, if you like what you see and like what you hear, please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notify button, the share button, all the buttons there. Please just hit them all. Would greatly appreciate it. Anyways, how are you, garbage people? My fellow garbage people, you're a garbage person, aren't you? I know I am. I took out the trash earlier today. But boy, oh boy, as we get closer and closer to Election Day next Tuesday, when they count all the votes, hopefully, and legally, we're getting into all the name calling. All of it, okay? Kamala has been all over the place. She was at the Capitol. She's been here. She's been there. Joe Biden looking like death himself with embalming fluid and way too much pancake makeup, looking very wrinkle-free, calling people garbage. But let's get into Kamala and her name calling. We'll get into the other stuff later. But she's been all over the place, calling Donald Trump a fascist. He's a fascist. He's Hitler. He's racist. He's a fascist. But let's look at the definition of fascism, shall we? According to Wikipedia, the bastion of free speech and, accuracy because it's on the internet, it says it's a far-right, authoritarian, and ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement characterized by dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forced suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race, and strong regimentation of society and the economy. Okay, that does not necessarily sound right-wing or far-right. It just doesn't, okay? It sounds a lot like Fidel Castro in Cuba, who was, according to definition, not far-right. He was far-left. But, let's kind of break this down. A dictatorial leader, like one of one, like supermajority, like we want to get rid of the garbage type leader. Centralized autocracy, like the Democrat Party. Forced suppression of opposition. You mean like Facebook monitoring, suppressing information of the Hunter Biden laptop? Of it being very hard to find anything negative about Joe Biden? I saw a Joe Biden video this morning of somebody dressed up as Joe going trick-or-treating, and nowhere to be found online when you do a basic Google search. You cannot find it. Everything is positive. Subordination of individual interests. No, we must all think alike. Groupthink. All must think the same. There is no individuality because it is for the greater good of the nation. And strong regimentation of society and the economy. You mean like price fixing? Like, we're not going to have price gouging or something along those lines. But wait, we have crazy inflation and everything has gone insane as far as gas prices and food prices and egg prices and milk prices. They've done a great job there, haven't they? Fascism rejects the view that violence is inherently negative or pointless, but rather views imperialism, political violence, and war as a means to national rejuvenation. Now, last time I saw, in the past, 10 years, it has not been the Republicans or the right wing who have taken the street to break windows, burn buildings, overturn cars, or throw rocks at police officers. It has been the lunatic fringe left. Who was it who went out on the streets in 2016 when Trump won and decided to, march and throw rocks and break windows and burn stuff. No, it wasn't the Republicans in celebration. It was the wacko liberal woke left who decided to take it to the streets and do stuff. Who was it after George Floyd who decided to burn down cities? Who was it who organized all of these things to basically create havoc? It sure as heck wasn't the right wing. It was the wacko woke left who took violence for their own political views as a means to national rejuvenation or whatever the hell their goal was. But fascists often advocate for the establishment of a totalitarian one-party state. Yes, like California, a supermajority, or other places where it is a true supermajority, where the other side basically doesn't even need to vote. Why vote? What's the point? If I'm in California, for example, why should I even bother to vote for the president? It's not going to help. I mean, it is a true supermajority there. It is a one-party state. The media is 100% behind anything liberal. The LA Times, it's owned by some Korean dude. I don't know if he's in Korea. I doubt it. I'm guessing he's Korean American, but the name is ethnically Korean. And he nixed the whole idea of the LA Times endorsing Kamala Harris for president. He said, we're not going to endorse anybody. So people quit. Subscriptions were canceled. The editorial editor actually said, quote, "We spent the last 4 years railing against Trump." So you're unbiased is what you're saying. You spent the last 4 years railing against Trump, therefore you must endorse whomever is on the left, whether it's the corpse of Joe Biden, whose brain is in a bottle of blue liquid, or Kamala Harris, or the proverbial French poodle. Anybody who's a Democrat, as long as it's not Donald Trump, because you've railed on him, because you're unbiased. The Washington Post, Jeff Bezos stepped in. They had 250,000 subscription cancellations. The Washington Post, another unbiased newspaper, who has never in their history ever endorsed a Republican for president. Ever, 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 ever. They endorsed Walter Mondale, for goodness sakes. But right wing, come on now. Why? Because it preserves class exploitation, social hierarchies, etc. That's what they say fascism is. But isn't that exactly what the liberals are trying to do? Liberals see fascism as the culmination of conservative thinking, an authoritarian, nationalist, and racist system of government organized around corporate power. Sounds to me a lot like the liberals and Silicon Valley. Corporate social media power. For conservatives, fascism is totalitarianism masquerading as the nanny state. Well, California, the nanny state. No on plastic bags at the grocery store, unless you pay a dime, and then you can have one. Power. This is what it's all about. Come on now. It's all about power. The media is 95% for Kamala Harris. Fox, the New York Post, and a couple of other outliers are really the only ones that are endorsing Donald Trump here. Social media outside of Twitter/X, virtually all is led by liberals. I don't know what I think Zuckerberg goes whichever way the wind is blowing. But celebrities are liberal proxies. Beyonce, Julia Roberts, don't let your husband tell you who to vote for. John Legend. It's all Kool-Aid. Drink my Kool-Aid. Think like me. Hillary Clinton with the fake dossier and the Biden laptop cover-up. Come on now. This was all real, but it was never covered by the mainstream press. Fake Russian news. Lies about being a spy. Donald Trump is a Russian asset. It was all fake news. But you'd never know that if you wanted to search about it. The truth is required to act freely. But we can't act freely because we don't know the truth. They're not giving us the truth. Freedom requires knowledge in order to act freely in this world. But they're suppressing it. They are suppressing it. You need to know what in the world is going on for you to make an honest decision. But they are tainting this. Why are they tainting this? It's because we, my friends, are garbage. We're garbage. All right, my fellow garbage people, I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping in. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, and we'll see you tomorrow. See ya.